This is our orientation for Book 1, Music Makers at the Keyboard. Today I'm going to talk about what's happening behind the scene. We're going to talk about music literacy and the most important concept that we're working on in this class, which is the ability for the musician to see what they hear and hear what they see. So this is easily attainable if we have children long enough. I need to have your children for a long period of time to do this. It doesn't happen in a day or a week or a month. It happens over many years. So they need to be in the environment where this is the emphasis. That's why I don't start from the very beginning naming the notes as letter names C or E or G. Instead, I'm making a connection between what they see and what they hear. Now, let's go a little bit more into this. So let's go to our next thing. And you as an adult could easily read this quote, "Welcome to the Ellen Johansson Music Studio." I'm assuming that you are literate and that you're able to read this, understand it, and get the feeling behind it. Yet, we expect children to learn music by reading it this way. WELCOME TOTHE and on and on. Now, if you heard somebody do that, you would pretty much guess that they're not literate and they're just learning their letters. And certainly it doesn't come even close to what this means. So this is the same thing that's happening in our classroom. We're coming from the sound of the score, we're looking for patterns in the score, and we're looking to turn this into music. So let's take a look at a piece that they're going to see, their first, quote, reading piece in Book 1. Now, you may not know what this is, or you may know what it is because we've seen it before. If you've been in my programs before. If you have not been in my programs, you may not know what this is. We call this a mystery piece. So how do we work into being able to hear what they see here? Well, if you were to start as a beginner in a traditional music lesson, you might be told that the first note is an A, and then the second note is an F sharp, and the third note is a D. So here I go. A, F sharp, D. A, F sharp, D. A, D. D, D, D. Could you figure out what the piece was? I bet you couldn't, because that's just naming notes. But we want to know what this piece is. So to do that, we have to look for patterns. And if you look at the first three notes, it forms a pattern that the children have heard many times. Bum, bum, bum. So, mi, do. And because they've seen this pattern, they know what it sounds like. Because they know what it sounds like, when they see the pattern, they can then say, so, mi, do. They also have noticed that the first note is a quarter note followed by 2/8 notes, 2/8 notes followed by 2 more eighth notes. Really? Those are names, but they're not going to give them much of a clue as to how it should sound. Do, do day, do day, do day, do, do, do day, do. Getting closer. And the children will actually say, sounds familiar. They can put them together and they would get it. So, mi, do, so, mi, do, so, do, 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 so, mi, do, so, mi, do, so, do, 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 do. And of course the children will shout out, oh, that's Mouse Mousy. Now in the program we'll be dancing this piece, singing this piece, discovering the patterns in this piece. We'll be seeing these patterns on our yellow cards, on our blue cards. And so when we finally get to this piece, this will be almost a no-brainer. They're going to figure it out immediately that it's Mouse Mousy. And they might even play it to the piano. So that's a very different way from the way you may have learned how to play the piano. Did you ever take a piano lesson in your life? Did you take them for more than 3 years? Are you still playing? And if you're still playing, can you still name those notes as A, F sharp, and D? My experience with most adults when they come back is they have a vague memory of it, but it didn't stick too well. Yet when I have children come back after years of study, that is the default that they'll go to. They'll say, oh, that's so, mi, do, so, mi, do. And it becomes a tool for them to grow their musicianship. So in this program, we're covering 5 needs here. Cognitive needs, language, we're teaching them a musical language, so, mi, do, or do, day, do, day, do. We're covering the ability to listen, and this is a very big concept. If they never play the piano for the next 3 years, every week they're going to be asked to listen and then listen again, and their ears get stronger and stronger at hearing what we're supposed to do. So if nothing else, they're going to learn how to follow the directions. Motor skills goes without saying. We're now connecting all of this ear play to the ability to move their fingers so that they can make music on a keyboard. This is a big step. And finally, the social emotional needs. This is covered because this is a group program, and so all of those needs are going to be covered through friends, peers, teacher-student relationship, parent-student relationship, parent-teacher relationship. There's a lot going in this classroom. And once they start this group, they pretty much stay with the same children through the next 3 years. It gets to be quite a group. So why in a group? Well, let's find out. So I'm going to read with you. Piano study with peers in a group setting nurtures the musician inside each child in the most positive setting for children this age. Children do better learning things in a group with other children their age. It's just research-based. Learning this way helps children learn from each other. Many times the children don't hear me, but they'll see their friends playing the piece, and the next thing you know, they're trying it out. I'll also see children will be helping each other in the classroom, and I stand back. It's amazing how I'll go and show them and they don't get it, and another child will show them and they get it. Also, because they're always playing in front of other children, it eventually overcomes that, quote, performance anxiety that some children exhibit. Now, some children will never play for me in class. Some children will want to play all the time. Both sides are accepted. Both sides are if a child passes on a performance moment, that's fine. But at the very least, they get to hear the other children and they get to see that modeling. And one day they may play for us. Here's the longer one. Children delight in being with and in making music with others. This goes without saying, and I think the reason why you've been hanging around with me is because you're seeing this in the classroom every week. Making music requires self-discipline. That means remembering to bring their books, remembering to do their home assignments, remembering to practice every day. As well as multi-track listening and functioning. All right, so they have to be able to listen, they have to be able to do what I say, they have to be able to copy that pattern onto the piano. There's a lot going on. Moreover, the deep concentration and total absorption which comes from working together to produce a desired effect fills the child musician with satisfaction and inspires refined listening and social awareness. Wow, what a big sentence. I think if you reread this, you'll say, we'd like all of their learning experiences to be like that. The joy in group music making enhances learning for each child while teaching a valuable lesson in cooperative learning, and we work on this constantly. The group dynamic is experienced rather than articulated. From the moment they step into the room, there is a group dynamic going on. We already have a group dynamic going, and it's a good one. Will some children behave better than others? Yes. Are some children not going to behave well? Yes. Will we work on this? Absolutely. They're going to learn that there are new expectations in the room, such as they can't run over and bang on my pianos. Or more importantly, they have to wait for their turn to make a sound on the piano. Right? It's the children's joy and understanding that will keep them involved in making music long after the lessons stop. I want these children to be playing the piano throughout their whole lives. So, how do we put a class together every week? There will always be singing. There will always be some sort of dancing or drumming and drumming. They will get to the keyboard every week, and there will be some writing and reading skills. Oh, and I left out that there will be listening as well. Every class has these components, and I try my best to work them in a way so that they will get the most out of that day. So even a child who walks in who's never touched the piano for the whole week, they're still going to get a wash of singing, dancing, drumming, playing that keyboard, and writing and reading skills. So I accept children walking in from that place to the child who's done everything, plus that they've listened every day to their listening CD, they've listened to their practice CD every day, they've mastered the concepts at home, they can correct me. That's always amazing. I think it's fun when your child is at that level. If you want to know more, I suggest you're in the classroom. So here we are. These are the things that you're going to get in book 1. Look familiar? Let's go through them. So the music garden bag you already have. Your homework is to clean it out, add that green notebook that had all of Music Maker's units, empty it out, put them into another book, or if you want to go and buy a notebook, you can do that. Then bring this to the first class and continue to bring it weekly. And inside, everything you need is going to go there. Their routine is they're going to come in, they're going to empty out that bag and put everything out in different baskets. We're going to start so they can access it, and at the end of the class, they put it all back in that bag. When they get home, they take it all out, they put it by their piano, they work and play, and the night before, they put it all back in that bag, and that's your job to make sure that they put everything back into the bag. Here's the notebook. This is the notebook that you had from last year or last semester. You want to clean it out of all papers and all previous material. Put it into another notebook, or as I said, go get a fresh notebook. If you wish to purchase one, let me know. You're going to place this into the bag. This will come weekly. It's going to hold all their piano assignments week to week. So when they get home and they open it up, they have a checklist of what they are asked to do every single day at home. This is book 1. As you can see, it comes with 2 CDs. This book comes every week. There is no exception. There's nothing more discouraging than when a child continually forgets to bring this book. Parents, you have to make sure it's in their bag the morning of class and make sure it gets into the studio. The CDs stay home. I don't want to see them in their bag with the plastic still on. There are 2 CDs. The listening CD is like the CDs you've seen before. You're going to play them as much as possible in the car, at home, before bed, in the morning. I want them to know this music well. The practice CD is going to be distributed in class 2, and that's used as part of the assignments every week. So make sure that when you're setting up your digital downloads and you register them at Music Garden, you've set up both CDs. There are 2 of them. And so you're going to back them up on your computer and then put them onto a listening device. And if that's the better way for them to listen, that's fine. But you got to figure out a way how to make it easy for your children to control the CDs, especially the practice CD. Otherwise, you're going to have to help them every time they practice, which is not bad. Some of my parents will buy an actual CD player that's committed to staying on the piano. I think that's personally the best way to go, because then they can learn to control that little CD player and they can press the buttons, although that might be too hard for some children, so be ready to help them. You're going to get a lot of different cards all through these classes. Here are just some pictures of them. We're learning so many concepts through these cards, and they're going to have to be stored. There are shape cards, there are yellow cards, you've seen those before. There are song cards. These are pieces we've heard before, and they're going to learn them at home. There's no reading music with them, at least not yet. These cards are going to be kept at home. They're going to be used at the piano to remind them to practice. You can do all sorts of creative ways to keep these in front of their eyes as they're learning. These are pieces that we learn, but we don't put them away. It becomes this whole collection of pieces that they are able to play. As many as 30 pieces by the end of, maybe by Christmas time, or by the end of book 2. Now below are some red bass note cards. We're beginning to place these notes on the different staves, and they're going to get exercises with these. They need to come back. There's also blue cards, triple rhythm cards. There are green triple rhythm cards. There are all different kinds of cards. There's even more cards. So what do you do with them? You'll put them in a card file. I'm going to hand out something like this at class 1. They're going to have to learn to keep the cards organized in here. They have to come every week, and the cards need to be in the file, not in the bag, all strewn. This is a chance to have some great organization skills with them at home. You need to go with them, show them how they could put them in order, and then put them into the card file. So when they enter the room, they're not dumping their books, but they're taking out the card file, opening it up, taking out the cards they need for the day and putting it into the basket. With time, they will get very good at this. If they leave them at home, they're not going to get good at this. All right, so I'm not leaving you dry. I know that being part of this program means that you need to be an active parent in this program. So I do 2 things to help you. I have a handbook guide that's for sale at the studio. It's a handy reference that shows hand position and gives you some ideas of what's happening in class. If you are a reader and love to see things and you want to go back and look at it again and again, I highly recommend this one. It's $9 and it is optional. There's also online parent tutorials, which I have created. They're on YouTube, and I have a channel, the Ellen Johansson Music Studio. The playlist will be sent to you each week, and you can go there and say, we're on week 1, click on it, and they're about 5 to 10 minutes long. I go through the assignments. I also send home a weekly attendant note with the same thing that you'll get in paper that goes into the notebook. So you have many ways to reference what I'm expecting each child to do. And it's your part of this program to make sure that it actually happens at home. I can't come home with you, but I can give you the material so that you can set up the keyboard, make sure they have the material on hand, and make it an inviting spot so that they can eventually get to independent learning. But in the beginning, don't expect them to just do this on their own. So again, your role in the classroom, I'm expecting you to be in the class for at least 15 minutes at the end. It doesn't work for you to just come and pick them up. You need to be part of the last 15 minutes. Because you're involved in the joyful participation of the activities, you're giving your child that undivided attention. So yeah, if you have siblings that need your attention for those 15, you might have to bring them in, but if you can find a way not to, it just helps your child that much more. It also helps us build a community because we're encouraging all the children in the classroom. And you walking in says, I care about this classroom. I'm not just picking you up. You're also going to make sure they have all the material and they get it home. They're tired by the end of the day. I need to help them to put everything into their bag and make sure they got that piano assignment. You can also ask questions. When you get home, you got to set up that home environment. You will need a piano that's tunable or a keyboard that's always set up, not one that you got to set up and take down. You've got to have a way for them to access the CDs or the downloadable, and it's got to be easy. Again, I think CDs are just easier in a CD player, but if they're used to using, if they happen to have a phone or a computer nearby, that's also fine, as long as they know how to use it. You can watch the tutorials together. They're only going to want to watch it once. You may want to watch it a lot more. And using the assignment sheet helps them. You can go down the list. Okay, let's do the first thing. Let's do the second thing. And check, 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 check. The assignment sheet is a check off each day. And yeah, I expect them to get to the piano each day. In other words, the day before you don't do all the checking. And one day a week is not enough. Okay, so that's really where we are. I'm going to give you more support as we go, but I just wanted to get you going. If you don't have a keyboard yet, you need to email me now, because getting that keyboard is essential to start this class. If you can't find the red bag or you need other material, I need to hear from you now. It also helps that you do email me. Give me updates. I need to know how they're doing. I have some students who will text me their latest play. That's fine. I love it. However, your attention to this program makes it more successful, and I'm there to help you. All right, I'm looking forward to the first class, and I hope you are too, as well as your child. See you soon.